Well, in the final minutes of the broadcast this weekend, it may seem to you we're going to get a little far afield. We're not going to be talking exclusively about agriculture.
Because farmers do things other than conventions in the off-crop season. They go to events like the Daytona 500.
Yeah, you know, some are real race fans. I noticed last weekend, communicating with some of our farmer friends, they were at that big race, and so was our buddy Chad Colby. There was a lot of excitement there, a huge crowd. The President of the United States flew in, and you were there visiting with some of the folks in the racing community.
Yeah, it was quite an experience, Max. I'd been there one other time about 20 years ago. I don't know that it's going to top the flyover from the 747 of Air Force One, but when you talk about agriculture and racing, you may have seen the number 14 car of Clint Bowyer's at the National Farm Machinery Show. Before the race on Sunday, I had a chance to visit with Clint. And I asked him, it must excite you to tie farming and racing.
Oh, it always does. I saw it all over social media while I was down here in Daytona. You know, it's neat. It's such a cool connection. And I know it's a connection that I've felt my whole life. You know, if I wasn't racing against a farmer, a farmer was connected to that car some way, shape, or form. It's always been that way around that dirt racing, especially as I was growing up through the ranks. And it's just a lot of parallels, man. The hard work, the dedication, you know, to find the success, that's where it's at.
Clint also discussed his farming operation. He has 650 acres. In fact, he raised corn and soybeans. And he talked about his progress in 2019.
We've had a lot of rain. I really enjoyed the yield contest last year. We had a lot of fun, learned a lot. But you know, we did a really good. Top 10 our first year in our state right there and in our region, and was proud of that for our efforts. But again, you know, it's all about learning. No different it is on the racetrack. You got to work together. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. We all know that as farmers, and you got to go out there and work harder next year, learn from your mistakes, and put it to good use so we can go up and be better than ever.
You've got to talk about racing if you're talking to Clint. He was pretty excited about this upcoming season. There's a lot of changes on the number 14 team.
It's always fun to kick off a new season. A lot of new with our 14 car, new crew chief, new crew, over-the-wall crew, everything you see, you know, except for the driver, man. The driver and the number are the only thing that's the same. But really excited about Kansas and Michigan. We'll have DeKalb. That car is so cool looking, so tough looking. You know, when you think about farmers, you think tough, right? And I wanted that car to look tough. That brand, that logo is you know, all time. It's one of the all-time oldest brands in our country, you know, so it's so neat to look out over the hood and see that on the hood of your hot rod out there. Obviously right there in the you know, heartland where I'm from in Kansas, to see all the turnout last year was huge success. Kind of opened my eyes, really. Made me very proud that all the farmers and all the sport came out to watch us at the racetrack.
If you've attended the last two Farm Progress shows, you may have seen this yourself. Max Armstrong riding along with Clint Bowyer in a golf cart. And I can tell you this, he really enjoyed it.
It's your people, you know what I mean? And that's the neatest thing about it is first of all, it's a humbling experience when you get on a buggy with Max, because everybody knows him, everybody's wondering, you know, who's this guy with Max? So I enjoyed that aspect of it. But just the conversations, the stories, and you know, everybody sharing, you know, where they're from, their backgrounds, and ultimately being a fan, you know, knowing what we have going on with our DeKalb car and Stuart Haas Racing with the NASCAR program, and that gave me a great deal of pride that they're aware and they're over at our booth checking it out and digging it.
It's always interesting when you talk to drivers, you wonder what they're going to do after their racing is over. And trust me, this guy's got some plans that are pretty interesting.
When I retire and get some time on my hands, I've got a lot of invites because I've kind of put myself into that invite already. I will be in a tractor before it's all said and done. I got to get out of this day job one of these days, you know, going around in circles, but I will run one of them babies up the straight line for a full pull.
Folks, did you catch that? Clint Bowyer's going to build a tractor pulling tractor. What do you think, Max? That'd draw a crowd to Louisville, wouldn't it?
I think you probably sent a trimmer through some of those tractor pulling folks just over the past few seconds. That would be interesting. That would shake up the avocation just a little bit.
And I want Chad to invite me the next time he's present for an Air Force One flyby. I really want to see him.
He has an interesting press pass. Good to see you. Thanks for coming back in this weekend.
Good to be back with you, and look forward to more visits.
We'll look forward to seeing some of you at Commodity Classic in the week ahead, and we'll have a report right here next weekend. Till then, so long, everyone.